This is Taraxippos, the brand new lightweight frame scout rifle that has been introduced to us with this year's Destiny 2 Spring Festival, the Guardian Games. And to be honest, the Taraxippos is what I would call, by definition, mid. Just like those people that aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel. Why settle for being mid when you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and experience the highs and lows of my content roller coaster? We be pumping out only the most base takes here, fellas. Some just can't handle it. So if you can, please consider subscribing. Help me achieve the goal I have of hitting 10,000 subscribers before the end of this year. I thank you for it. Now back to the video. By no means is Taraxippos trash, but by no means is it the best or close to the best scout rifle in Destiny 2. Getting straight into its perk pool, and this weapon has some pretty fun combos, such as gut shot straight paired with explosive payload, which will synergize and increase the explosion damage from explosive payload. Then up next we do have 4th times a charm paired with Cascade Point, which makes this scout feel like an even heavier hitting high impact frame auto rifle. And then just hatchling, paired with any reload perk of your choice, if you care with whatever strand synergy comes with that. Now personal opinion incoming, but this is a PvPer's weapon. I don't play much PvP. I just find fun in other challenges, and from a PvE perspective, this is quite easily the middle ground in terms of scout rifles. It is heavily outshined by scouts such as Hung Jury with kinetic tremors, dealing not only splash damage to all enemies around the selected target, but is great DPS for those tankier enemies. Then we have arguably the highly slept on scout, and to clarify, I mean everyone has this scout, I just see absolutely no one using it. But Tarnished Metal with Volt Shot. Volt Shot stays on top, let's just keep it real. It holds god tier ad clear ability and is great for solo target DPS. Those ticks of jolt damage is nothing but the nicest cherry on top to all of your damage. And lastly, Staccato. Staccato might even be a better option than Taraxippos, depending on your opinion of Incandescent. But this is by no means saying that this weapon is terrible. I mean, tiers of condition does exist. Lamau. Taraxippos is a fun weapon to use, and the considered god roll is arguably the most fun to use, being 4th times a charm and Cascade Point. By defeating an enemy with an alternative weapon and switching back over to Taraxippos, you will receive an extremely high boost in your RPM, making it feel more like a high impact frame auto rifle that hits for almost double damage. Some might say that this makes the scout super viable, but to think of a situation that you would be in for most of the time when using a scout would be for Grandmaster Nightfalls would be a fairly large distance away, because that's just what scouts are used for. So to complement the playstyle and feed into the perk Cascade Point, let's say you run a sniper. So in your GM Nightfall, you defeat an enemy with your sniper and then you hot swap over to Taraxippos. And for the moment, you're laying down fire, dealing some damage. But then you now have to hop back over to the sniper to re-proc Cascade Point, for this perk only lasts for 2 seconds. But now let's flip the scenario, because not everyone runs a sniper in Grandmaster Nightfalls, so you run a mid to short range special, like a shotgun or a fusion rifle. You're up close to an enemy, you defeat them to proc Cascade Point, and now you swap back to the scout rifle while you're still knee deep in the ads. Not the optimal position for this type of weapon, keeping in mind that this is all to boost the DPS of a primary weapon. If this was to boost the DPS for a heavy, there'd be no question about it. You would want to go for something like that, but a primary weapon? If the goal is to clear the room as fast as possible, let me introduce to you 2 alternative perks that require 1/4 the work and will clear the room 4 times faster. And you guessed it, they run on the same weapon type as well, if you're really itching to use a scout. Bringing it on back to the perk pool, there are more perks to choose from. There is gut shot straight paired with explosive payload, which they do synergize, making the explosion from explosive payload do more damage. So it's kind of cool that it does that, but is it by any means the most optimal choice? In PvE, absolutely not. And for PvP, which I don't touch, I'm told that gut shot straight just makes the weapon feel so much more unfavorable, because this perk reduces your target acquisition. Now for my final note, there is hatchling that can roll on this weapon, but it is hatchling. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Maybe if it spawned 2 to 3 thread links, this perk would be more worth your time, but it doesn't, it only spawns 1. Now that concludes my unfortunate thoughts on this weapon. It's a gun that's kind of fun, kind of quirky, but nothing to write home about at all. But to add to that, we don't really get get good weapons from any festivals to begin with, looking at you Festival of the Lost. And with that said, it's really no surprise here that this is just another one to add to the pile. Dawning does give some good weapons though, I'm not gonna lie. Try those out. Now I hope this video has given you some perspective, and if it has, for me, hit that subscribe button below. And Season of the Deep has just been announced. I have high hopes for the dungeon weapons, so let's just cross our fingers. Peace.